A week after Karen's fake HOA was exposed, things in the neighborhood changed overnight. People who used to whisper behind curtains were now waving from their porches. For the first time, everyone seemed free. The ridiculous fines stopped, the cameras on every corner came down, and neighbors finally started talking about how much fear that woman had caused for years. Then, one morning, as I was fixing the porch railing, I saw a moving truck outside Karen's house. She was pacing up and down the driveway, barking at the movers. Even from across the street, I could hear her yelling about lawsuits and revenge. My wife came out with coffee and said softly, "Guess she's finally leaving." I nodded. She's not leaving. She's running. And I was right. Turns out the county investigation uncovered she'd been pocketing HOA funds, almost $180,000 over 4 years. She'd written checks to herself under maintenance expenses. When the news broke, everyone in the community realized how deep the manipulation went. She didn't just control us with fear, she'd been stealing from us too. That night, the whole neighborhood gathered on my lawn. It wasn't planned, it just happened. Someone brought a speaker, another brought snacks. People laughed for the first time in forever. One older man, Mr. Peters, who'd been fined for his non-regulation fence, raised his glass and said, "To freedom from the Queen of Fines." Everyone laughed. Even my kids joined in, pretending to stamp violations on each other for fun. Later, I saw Karen drive away. No one waved. No one stopped her. Just silence, like the street itself was relieved. Months passed and the town voted to officially dissolve the HOA. We formed a neighborhood committee instead, voluntary, transparent, and free of nonsense. My wife started a garden club. I rebuilt the old shed. Life became simple again. But sometimes when I walk past Karen's old house, I still remember her voice, that cold authority when she'd say, "You'll regret crossing me." Funny thing is, I don't regret it at all. I smiled, watching the sunset over our yard. Peaceful, unbothered, ours.
The day we moved in, everything looked too good to be true. Manicured lawns, smiling neighbors, and a welcome basket from the HOA sitting right on our porch. My wife called it the perfect neighborhood. But something about those smiles felt, rehearsed. The next morning, a woman in a floral blouse and clipboard walked up like she owned the world. "I'm Karen," she said with that sugary tone that hides a blade. "Head of the HOA. Just making sure you read our community rules." She handed me a thick binder labeled Covenant Compliance Manual. I chuckled. "We just moved in yesterday. Haven't had time to read a novel yet." Her smile didn't move. "You'll want to. Violations can get expensive." That was the first warning. By week 2, we already had our first violation notice taped to the door. Apparently, our mailbox was half an inch too tall. I thought it was a joke. Then came the second notice for having our trash bin visible from the street. The third, grass slightly uneven. It was getting ridiculous. When I politely asked Karen about it, she tilted her head and said, "We have to keep standards. This isn't just any neighborhood." I replied, "You mean it's your kingdom?" That smirk she gave me said everything. Things escalated fast. One night, I caught 2 HOA board members sneaking around my backyard, flashlights out, taking pictures. When I confronted them, one said, "Routine inspection." The other muttered, "You'll regret not cooperating." My wife was terrified. My kids couldn't even ride their bikes without someone complaining about noise levels. Every day felt like living under surveillance. Then one evening, a certified letter arrived. "Final warning. Non-compliance will result in legal action." That's when I decided to dig deeper. I spent nights going through county records, and what I found made my blood boil. The HOA wasn't legally renewed 5 years ago. Their charter had expired. Every rule, every fine, every inspection was illegitimate. So the next morning, when Karen showed up at my door again, all smug and ready to deliver another threat, I smiled for the first time. "Karen," I said calmly, "you've been trespassing on my property for weeks. You and your fake HOA." Her face drained of color. "Fake?" "Yeah," I said, holding up the printed record. "County says your HOA doesn't even exist anymore." For the first time, she didn't have a word to say. And when I called the sheriff, it was her turn to answer questions. As the patrol cars pulled up and the neighbors peeked from their windows, I finally felt that perfect neighborhood peace everyone bragged about. Except this time, it was real.